Forget America. White America is an irredeemably racist country.
It is about the African-American culture.
I felt like that homeschooling was the best way to educate my children.
Well, it's a way of protesting.
I like homeschooling better.
We come from...
This is a school you can mess up.
I want each of my students to believe that they can achieve their dream.
We come from different walks of life. But we started in Africa. Started in Africa. Plays African in America, African in Europe.
We're no longer looking to the public school for uplift for the culture. But the lesser known history is that we've always been self-taught, and it was our self-agency and our self-determination that got us to the point where we were seeking education as a way of freedom.
So let's have a serious talk right now. Let's talk about how the public school system is not for your child. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about all the stories, that have come out about that I've reported on and that other various media outlets have reported on that are basically showing proof of why you should take your kid out of public school. Because now public schools seem to be a place where their job is to demean you. Okay? How are you an honor roll student and they got the nerve to try to suspend you for a part in your hair? What part of the game is that? And what part of rewarding somebody for good behavior that there's no such thing anymore? I guess it seems it's like, if you are black, they're trying any and every way to literally suck the life out of you. And that means lower your confidence as soon as they can. 7 years old, great. I'm sorry we couldn't hit him at 5, right? And that's how they feel. They want to demean your kids for everything that they can to lower their confidence. So that eventually when they end up robbing somebody or joining a gang, then they'll get them in prison and get them, working for Whole Foods, making their bread. You know what I'm saying? Where they want them anyway. And again, these schools, they have all these rules and regulations for a reason. Those rules and regulations aren't educating your kids. They're keeping your kids from being creative. They're keeping your kids from being innovative. They're keeping your kids from being free. So they come to public school thinking, okay, I'm coming to school today. I should be able to express myself. I should be able to have fun. But no, really, they're walking into a pre-prison before they get to the real prison. And trust me when I say I know what I'm talking about. Okay? His mother said that he was teary-eyed because he doesn't want to be suspended for a part in his head. And she told him, don't hold your head down. Continue to make these A's and B's because that part is nothing. But you know what, mama? You know what you need to do? You need to take your kid, Rashad, cute little Rashad. You need to take him out of public school. That's what you need to do. And I don't know what else has to happen to him or to other kids that you have to read about for you to finally do it. But you need to do it because slowly but surely the confidence will be sucked out of him because of all these little things that are going to add up that are going to happen to him, all because he's black. And that's the truth, okay? We all know in public school, a lot of the times, like I said, they just don't care. They don't care. And unfortunately, their job is really not to educate you anymore. It's to indoctrinate you. And, a lot of these public schools, they have interests in the private prisons. So they're directly doing certain things so that people can fall in line to go to prison. And if you don't know about the prison industrial complex, you need to Google that because that is real. That is alive and breathing right now, training people right now, getting them ready for prison life.
8-year-old Nassan Jones's favorite subject is art, but the 4th grader at West Middle Island Elementary School says while he was working on a self-portrait in art class on Monday, his teacher said something that made a very bad impression.
I didn't like how I drew my nose. Like how I drew my nose, and then I asked him, could you help me draw my nose? And then he drew my nose really big, and then I asked him, why'd you draw my nose really big? And then he said, because all African Americans have big noses.
Nassan says his art teacher, John Johnson, is white.
I was shocked.
Nassan's grandmother, Roberta Williams, says when he told her about the comment, she was outraged.
For it to be a white teacher, and my grandson's African American, and you told a kid that, okay, because of your color, you have a big nose. And I don't think that any child, regardless of what color they are, no teacher should be shaming a child about their color, the size of their nose, the texture of their hair, the color of their eyes. It shouldn't matter.
My mom and my grandma always talk about don't let anybody be racist.
Williams says when she called the school about the incident, the acting principal told her she talked to Johnson about it. Williams says Johnson called her yesterday, but she didn't get the apology she was hoping for.
He said, oh, I think your grandson misunderstood me, and no, I don't think he misunderstood you. Not at all.
The school superintendent issued a statement saying, quote, Longwood Central School District Central Administration is looking into the matter and trusts that any miscommunication or offense taken by the family from a staff member will be remedied through further communication.
We just want this teacher removed from the school. He shouldn't be teaching any kids.
Williams is demanding action because she says it's clear the incident has left a mark on her grandson.
I'm scared to go back to art class because I don't know what's going to happen.
In Middle Island, Virginia Huey, News 12, Long Island.
The district declined News 12's request to speak with that art teacher.
They told my son he can't come to school because he got hair. Wow. Can I braid it up? Can I braid it up? Is that okay?
I don't think so. Where's Mrs. Book has to give that? It's in our.
That's crazy, man.
It's in our handbook. It has to be above the ears.
That's crazy. Oh, be calm, be calm, be calm. Stay calm. Don't trip. Don't worry about it, son. Everybody's hair is at their shoulders. What's the difference?
That's just it.
That's your rule. I respect that, but that's just not right. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not.
I can't change that rule.
I know.
I'm sorry.
I know, but something has to be done.
Yeah. I'm telling you, yeah, she called me and told me that she had an issue up here about my grandson being in a dress. I mean, I'm trying to see what the issue is about that.
Okay, you'll have to talk to Dara.
Who's
She's the
Dara?
director. She's down in the other classroom.
Is she the one that was in charge of the kids while my grandson?
I was, but I can't talk to you.
Why?
Because you're not on the form. So we'll have to get Dara up here and see if she will let you. Let me talk to you about it.
I mean, first of all, I'm coming down here because we don't do that. The transgender and all that. We don't do that.
I understand. I don't either.
And I don't appreciate you encouraging him to put on no dress for the second day too. I don't appreciate that. And don't think this is going away. I'm going further with this.
Okay, you can go down and talk.
No, I'm not done talking to you. I'm letting you know the next time that you put any kid in a dress, we're gonna make you go viral.
Okay, you need to go talk to my director because I, as a teacher.
No, I'm letting you know I got an issue with you about that. I'm not playing with you.
I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you feel that way. But you should have called me before you made the decision to put my grandson in a dress.
Okay, you can speak to the.
No, I'm speaking to you.
Please do not talk to me in that tone with my children
I
around.
wouldn't be up here if you wouldn't put my grandson in no dress.
Again,
Well, do what you gotta
take it
do.
up with Miss
No,
Dara.
I'm taking it up with you.
Please lower your voice. You're in a classroom.
I'm
with
taking it up
children.
with you. Well, you shouldn't have put my grandson in no dress.
He's 2.
This ain't over with, all right?
They're saying the hair is out of order. You're saying the hair is part of your religious and cultural beliefs. So explain more about that to us.
Basically, you know, where we come from, we as a people need to identify that. Now, for us as a family, I can only speak for my family. For us as a family, we are Hebrewites. It also goes in the category of Rastafaris.
Yes.
But the thing about it, people have a stigma about Rastas. Rastas, in people's eyes, is that they stay home, smoke weed, and, you know, the normal thing. But in my household, we don't touch the stuff.
Yes.
Is Rastafarian a religion or a culture?
It is both. It is both. You can put it in a religion form, because if you read the Bible, it also says that when the Lord came, his hair was like wool. It clearly says it in the Bible. In a culture where I come from, kids, this is how they wear their hair.
So, Mum, you will say, you know, I think the fear would be this is a fashion trend. And your point is absolutely not.
It's not a fashion trend.
So here's the problem. I think, you know, the school have their policy, and you can argue it one way or the other with you, but you can also argue surely the school, before they took Chickasee on board, they should have understood the child that they were accepting into the school, surely.
Or told you that their hair wasn't acceptable.
Yes.
Did you have any kind of conversation with them?
Not about my son's hair, because as far as I was concerned, it was not an issue. As far as, in my opinion, it was not an issue. I went to several occasions to different meetings in the school. Everything they send us to go to, I will go. I bring my son with me. I had a meeting, not a meeting as such, a conversation with the headmaster. He shook my hand, he shook Chickasee's hand, he said, welcome to Fulham Boys School. He said, it'll be a pleasure.
Okay. So you say you had read the school rule book, and there was nothing in there. There were mention of they couldn't have hair beyond their collar, but Chickasee ties his hair up.
That's exactly.
So Chickasee, tell us your first day. This is Fulham Boys School in London. What happened on your first day then? Who first mentioned to you that your hair was not acceptable?
I was in class, and then my head of house came in, and she asked me if I can come out of class for a second, and then she told me that by Monday my hair has to be cut.
So what did you feel at that point? What did you think about what she was saying to you?
Well, I was upset and I was a bit worried because I really wanted to go to that school.
So you love the school, you're a good student, you want to be at school. So when he came
Except you're now
home,
being treated differently, aren't you? You're being isolated, or what way are they treating you within school? Because they see every day you come in, looking the way you do, they see it as defiance and disobedience. So you're being punished for that, are you? What way are you being punished?
Well, on Monday, and they took me out of class, and then they brought me into isolation.
When you say isolation, what do you mean? Where did they put you?
They brought me into the head of house office, and then they made us.
Okay, let me just explain the school's point of view on this one for people. The headmaster, Alan Ebenezer, says we're a strict academic boys' school with a very distinct ethos. We have a very strict uniform and appearance policy, which includes hair. Hair cannot be shorter than a number 2, longer than your collar, and must be one natural colour, no braids, no dreadlocks, and no cult hairstyles. We are treating this as a cultural issue at the moment and are surprised that the parents have not discussed this with us sooner and left it to the start of term. So I hear what Mr. Ebenezer is saying, but you're saying you met him or you met officials of the school before Chickasee was appointed. So he knew, or he should have raised that point with you then. We put it to you, headmaster, that you should have raised that then.
But also, you're saying it doesn't. He's mentioning dreadlocks there, but actually, in the written rule book, it doesn't say the word dreadlocks at all.
At all, because that's the thing about me. I'm a strict mom. Okay,
yes.
So before even he went into the school, 2 things he did. He spent an entire day in the school Nothing was mentioned to me. I sat down, downloaded it, the policy, read it through. I said, okay, fine. They said no twists.
How do you feel about him
this
being
is
isolated?
yes, because it says the headmaster goes on to say that anyone who refuses to follow school policy faces exclusion. Boys from all cultures and backgrounds are welcome and feel part of the school. And if you don't adhere to the policy, there is no point in having a policy. So this could result on him being booted out of the school.
Yes.
So have you taken this further than the headmaster?
Well, I've written the headmaster. I followed their procedure again. That's on the website. I've written to the headmaster, and he refused to write back to me.
So what happens now? I mean, I have to say that Chikezi doesn't have permission from the school to be out of school today. That's your choice to bring him out of school and bring him here. So what do you want to happen now? What do you think will happen now?
Well, at the end of the day, the main thing and the most important thing is my son's education. And for a headmaster to be sticking to this sort of policy, it is absolutely wrong.
But Tuesday, if the main thing is your son's education, you maybe could argue that then the hair has to go, the dreadlocks have to go.
No, it doesn't.
So then that's not the main thing, education isn't the main thing.
Education is his main thing, because I had other kids and they all went to school and they all got education, very good education, and they're all in very good positions at the moment.
And they all had dreadlocks.
And they all had dreadlocks.
Welcome to the Advice Show, media with the common sense approach. So there was a young man, 12 years old, going to a private Catholic school, and he was suspended for staring at a girl. Yes, suspended for staring. Let me roll the clip.
Parents of a 12-year-old Catholic boy are a little peeved. Their son was suspended from school last year for staring at another student. It happened at St. Gabriel Consolidated School in Glendale.
The perception was that he intimidated her.
Kicked out of school for staring at another student? The parents would not let their child be filmed, so I asked the mother to show me the face her kid said he made. The school says that stare was intimidating. The parents took the school to court to get the suspension erased from the record, but they lost the case. In court documents, though, the school said the discipline is consistent with the handbook and the female student felt threatened. The Tolbert son even wrote an apology letter. It reads in part, "I never knew she was scared because she was laughing. I don't want to be suspended anymore. This will be my last time intimidating anyone." The parents say they didn't know about the incident or the apology letter until 3 days after it happened. The parents told me the same student who said she was a victim did something pretty bad herself.
So the same girl that accused my son of this act of perception of intimidation aggressively poured milk on someone else's lunch. When she did that, there was no repercussions for that academic penalty. She received nothing for that.
We tried to talk to the school. They sent us a statement saying, quote, Judge Patrick Dinkelacker listened to the plaintiff's arguments yesterday, rejected them, and dismissed the complaint against the school. We aren't going to comment any further on particular issues concerning our students.
Now, most people will say this is the most ridiculous story I've ever heard in my life. You're going to suspend someone for staring. Well, you know, this really isn't odd for a black person because, you know, we remember Emmett Till. Most of you who don't know about Emmett Till, he was allegedly staring and whistling at a white woman. And what did they do to him? He was a young boy. They beat him, killed him mercilessly, just because he was looking and staring and whistling supposedly at a white woman. Recently, in 2015, we had another story of a black man who was stopped by a police officer for staring. We covered that on this channel, as you saw.
Without being in the cop car, right? You know how it is when the police pulling you over? You're like, I'm not doing nothing. Why is he, every move I make, why is he making it? I'm not doing nothing.
Okay.
Because I have a Michigan plate. Other than that, why was you trailing me?
Because you made direct eye contact with me and held on to it while I was passing you up Salem.
I made direct. I didn't even see you until you were behind me.
I'm not going to argue about it anymore, sir. If you want to keep talking about it, I'll just take your license back and give you a citation for the violation. We can take it to court. I'm not going to.
And the cop said, you were staring at me. See, no one in this country knows how it feels to be a black man or a black boy. Like I stated in the previous video, we get it from all angles. We get it from the savages within our community who's choosing to commit crimes. We got to fight through that. Then we got to deal with systematic racism, discrimination. And if we say something about anything, we're complaining. We're being victims all the time. But really, how could you even look at this story and say, this is just normal behavior, staring? The boy wrote an apology letter saying he's not going to intimidate anybody anymore. I mean, as a black man, I am sick and tired of that. Every single time a black man look a certain way or a black boy, it's a problem. You know, you're intimidating me. He's threatening me. What is he thinking? What is he going to do? All this stuff and propaganda is put out by the people that's within the media or those who are raising their kids that way. But yet the ones that they aren't teaching that's going to do something to somebody, it's them little withdrawn ones in their group. And they go and do some heinous things that we see in the news all the time. But you never sit up there and put those stereotypes out there. See, this story is just wrong. Even if you're paying for a private school, and it's the thing, you can be sometime a great person, don't commit crimes, and still deal with racism. And I know what some of you going to say is, well, you were saying in a video yesterday about the savages within our community. Yeah, but I never said we was removed from racism. You could be a president, you could be a doctor, lawyer, you can be whatever, and still have to deal with racism. You could never commit crimes. You could pay your taxes. You could vote. You can do everything right, and they still would look at you that way because there are people who don't like us. There are people that feel that we shouldn't be in certain schools and stuff like that. That's why I highly support that we in the black community to get together and open up our own schools that we won't have to deal with getting suspended for staring at somebody. I mean, come on, people do that all the time. People sometimes stare off into space. They're looking your direction, but they're not really staring at you. They're probably thinking about something else. And for this girl who supposedly say she felt threatened and intimidated, that sounds like something her parents said, because the boy said she was laughing. Then the same girl poured milk on somebody intentionally and nothing happened to her. It's just straight discrimination and racism. And any black person that got their kid in that school, you need to pull them out, because I'm sorry, I would not let my kid go to that school anymore. You suspending somebody for staring. I mean, that just don't make any sense. Out of all the things you could suspend a child for, that's it. That's why the American education system just sucks in a lot of ways. You're paying attention to the wrong things, but not trying to educate these kids. Hit me up in the comments, use your commentaries, subscribe.
A sixth grader at Lawton Childs Middle Academy was arrested and taken to a juvenile detention center, charged with disrupting a school function and resisting arrest without violence. It's a decision that's not sitting well with the student's mother, Okeke Talbot, who says her son is in gifted classes and has been bullied at the school before.
I'm upset, I'm angry, I'm hurt, more so for my son. My son hasn't never been through anything like this, and I feel like they should have handled this differently.
The February 4th incident started when a substitute teacher asked the 11-year-old boy to stand up for the pledge. He reportedly told the substitute teacher the flag was racist and the national anthem was offensive to black people. In a statement to the district, the substitute teacher reported telling the 11-year-old boy why, if it was so bad here, he did not go to another place to live. She said he then said, "They brought me here." And she said she told him, well, you can always go back, because she was from Cuba and the day she felt unwelcome here, she'd find somewhere else to live.
She was wrong. She was way out of place.
The substitute teacher then wrote she called the office because she, quote, didn't want to continue dealing with him. According to the arrest affidavit, the student was arrested because he refused to follow multiple commands, repeatedly called school leaders racist, and was disruptive. They said he threatened to get the school resource officer and principal fired and to beat the teacher, an accusation he says is just not true.
I want the charges dropped, and I want the school to be held accountable and the officer for what happened, because it shouldn't have been handled the way that it was handled.
Okeke Talbot says she and her son will now head to court on February 19th to fight these two misdemeanor charges. Reporting in Lakeland, I'm Stephanie Clay-Tor, Spectrum Bay News 9.
Why did you feel the need to snatch me out of my chair? Why couldn't have you just asked me to get up? I mean, I still would have said no, but it's better than snatching me out of the chair and and forcing me to stand.
Still reeling, Stone Chaney and his family are banding together against what they say happened at the start of his third day of 6th grade, when it was time to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
A teacher just comes up, puts her arms under my armpits and snatches me out of my chair. I say I don't stand for the pledge. She just glares at me and walks away. I just feel like my rights were violated. She was the teacher consultant, the person who teaches other people not to put their hands on students. So who knows what other teachers she's taught her way of thinking.
A rough start to his first year at East Middle School got even worse when he says he returned the next morning to a substitute teacher driving the point home, ordering him to stand and telling him he would need a special note to be allowed to sit.
God said, don't worship anything other than me. Don't worship any idols. And pledging to a flag would kind of be like worshiping it. It's not if I have a reason or not, it's my right.
His parents demanded action at a school board meeting. Now both teachers have been placed on administrative leave.
One of the main issues that we are having a problem with is the fact that an adult felt the need to put their hands on my child.
Very proud of my son. Very proud. He's a national hero right now.
Farmington Public Schools superintendent showing inclusion for Stone in a statement saying the district fully supports the right of each student to participate or not in the daily pledge. At Farmington Public Schools, we expect every child and adult in our district to be treated with dignity and respect. At this time, the district cannot speculate about the outcome of the pending investigation. And although Stone's family is encouraged by the district's recent action, they're focusing now on the bigger picture.
I have 3 little brothers, so if we let it get away with me, who knows what happens to the rest of them. I hope it never happens to them. Nobody in East, nobody in Michigan, nobody all over the country.